Hello! Today I'm going to talk about a little energy exercise that you can do when you are having a conversation with someone, and this is especially important when you are doing healing work on people. So it's when you come together and when you depart. I have interviewed hundreds of healers, and as a group, these loving, generous, and kind individuals want to improve the welfare of our planet, affecting millions, if not billions, of lives. Amongst the frustrations these amazing healers express during our conversations are the ability to attract stable income to sustain themselves, the loss of their life force energy when working with others, and even the lack of confidence or the fear of failing because of the responsibility of the well-being of others. I've had these very same frustrations myself during my 30-year healing history. When the calling to heal got so strong, I had to retire from my 40-year physics career. I needed to replace my six-figure salary fast. Standard sales and business techniques didn't always work for me as a highly sensitive introvert. Through trial and error and studying with many coaches, I developed a 4-step system that replaced my salary within 5 months. I've helped others develop their successful healing businesses, and I can help you too. I'm Dr. Anastasia Chopelas. Listen in to discover more. So welcome back. I'm so glad you're here again, and I want to talk a little bit about how people come together and depart. So when people come together, no matter where, how, and what capacity it is, when people come together, there's always an energy exchange happening, and that energy exchange happens because they're acknowledging one another and they want to connect with one another. That's normal. And when you are healing as a healer, what'll happen is that your healing client will come in because they need you for something. So they will naturally want to draw energy from you. And they'll also put energy in you as they're speaking to let you know how they feel and what it is they expect you to do and help them with. So my solution to that is to create a pathway to protect you. So that pathway can be in any form that you like. My personal preference is to send a grounding cord down into the earth and let the excess energy that they're giving you drain off, but you can also connect up to spirit. So you can imagine that you have all these big roots that are going down deep into the earth, and as you're having this conversation with someone, or when you're doing healing work with someone and they are needing you for something, then whatever energy they give you will drop down into the earth, and you are connected up to spirit to allow that to flow through. And this process can be used whether you're in conversation with them, whether you are thinking of them, however it is, however you feel like your energy is being compromised by something else, this is a really good way to do it. Now, there is a second part of this process, and this second part is retrieving your energy. So the first part is for protection, right? And then the second, this 2-step process, the second part is for reclaiming your energy once you lose it or once you get mixed up with somebody else. And there are a variety of ways of doing this. My favorite and really simple way of doing it is to use energy roses. So you may or may not know, but the highest vibration living thing are roses. That's what we know of. Humans, healthy humans, vibrate between 70 and 80 megahertz. That's 1 million beats per second is a megahertz, so 70 to 80 is 70 to 80 million beats per second. That's the frequency that it vibrates at. And roses are up around, like a pure rose oil is up around 300 to 320 megahertz. That's about 4 times what a human vibrates at, or at least a healthy human, right? So I have a personal preference for roses in our family. Like, my way of expressing love for my mom was to always give her a dozen red roses whenever I felt like it. It could just be any time. And we usually, of course, on Mother's Day and her birthday, the house was always full of roses because that was just the family thing. So, whatever roses mean to you, it could be that your love language is daisies, or it could be marigolds. It could be whatever the flower. It could be irises. Whatever the flower is, you can use that. So what I do is I send out a rose in front of the person I'm having a conversation with, and that's going to collect my energy back. And then I plant a rose here in front of me that's going to draw that energy out of me that doesn't belong there. And what the rose does is it purifies that energy. And of course, you need to ground both of the roses. And so at the end of the conversation, or at the end of the healing, I draw the energy that doesn't belong in me out of me, and I pull the energy, my energy, back out of the other person where they may have knowingly or unknowingly collected it. And then when that process of drawing out is complete, I do an energy exchange and pull my own energy back in. And this process, and then of course at the end of it, I cut the cord between me and the other person, or the me and, like, let's say I'm doing a class in which there are many, right? And in the many, this class of many, they may have all been asking for energy from me, or I may have given it all out because I am teaching them something. So I'm speaking out my energy and they're absorbing it, right? So it's not ever a malicious thing. I mean, it could be, but it's not usually a malicious thing. And so at the end, once you do that energy exchange, you cut the cord between them. And in shamanic terms, what this is called is a soul retrieval. But really, it's just your own personal vibrational frequency that has gotten polluted by somebody else's, and you want to keep it clean, because the more you keep it clean, the better off you feel, right? So that's the way it is with your energy retrieval, right? And there are a couple of other little things that I do with energy, doing some energy exercises to help afterwards. Is, we as healers want to help as many people as possible, right? And the more people that you're able to help, the better. And then what'll happen is, because you're focused somewhere else, you draw yourself out and you stop being centered and stop focusing on yourself. So there are a number of centering exercises. Centering is not grounding. We did grounding at the beginning, which is the first part of that energy exercise of dropping a grounding cord down. That's grounding. What that does is it releases all of the poopy energy and foreign energy that you've collected. Or it could be the excess energy of nervousness, anxiety, grief, whatever is going on inside you that is lowering your frequency. You can just drop that down. That's the grounding cord. Centering is an entirely different process, right? So centering is a process by which you become kind of, it's like your attention is scattered everywhere else and you forget about yourself. Like, I do this a lot because I am what my daughter calls hyper-focused, ADD. So I focus on one thing at a time, and then what'll happen is that I will not be able to see anything or do anything else. And once I'm focused, I'm focusing away from how do I feel, what am I doing. And I actually use this technique to help distract me from the back pain I suffered for many, many years. That's now a thing of the past, but I had it from the age of 19 all the way until 55, right? And since turning 55, I started doing the things that I needed to do to help heal that, especially sending energy into my back to help relax it and heal it, right? So let's get back to centering. So centering means that you bring yourself back down into you, right? You pull yourself up and out and put your attention elsewhere. And so you bring that energy back down into you. And I always say that the center of your body needs to match the center of your spirit. And there's a number of ways, but the very simplest way to do it is to do a deep breathing exercise. And breathing is always wonderful for centering, right? And I always tell people, put your left thumb in your belly button. And when you breathe in, you start at the bottom, right? So you start at the bottom and you breathe in, pushing your belly out, and then you fill yourself up. And then you hold it for 2 or 3 seconds and then release from the top down. And when you fill yourself up, you imagine all of the air, all of your energy going into your fingers and toes. And when you do that 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 breaths, you will get centered right away. You'll feel yourself click in. For me, my feet start to get warm and tingly because I know that I'm in there. Because when you're centered, the energy of your spirit animates your body, right? And that's why we have a lot of lower back problems, a lot of knee problems, a lot of hip problems, a lot of foot problems, is because people are pulled up to their waist and higher, and so then everything down below their waist doesn't get energized the way it's supposed to. It doesn't get animated and energized, and we want to be centered. And it is the exact same definition, centering. It's the exact same definition that a psychologist or a psychiatrist will use. So they'll say, get in touch with your feelings. When I first heard that, I would go like, Where do I get in touch with my feelings? I don't get it. I have feelings or don't have feelings, right? But when you're centered, you know exactly what you're feeling at all times, right? And then the other, aside from grounding and centering, there's deep breathing. And of course, the cutting cords, right? And then there's something really important to do every day, and that's when you wake up first thing in the morning, you've dehydrated your body. You need to rehydrate immediately. So rehydrating helps bring water up into the brain to help it get into clarity and function. And of course, water has very many wonderful benefits. It also makes the skin moist, and it prevents the aging process from speeding up too much. And it also helps quell your hunger, right? So drinking enough water is really important. I drink 2 to 3 liters a day and a half a liter in the morning, which is 2 8-ounce glasses. Okay, so I hope this was really helpful. So I covered basically 4 things. The first is the coming together exercise, where you ground and connect to spirit and to help release any foreign energies and also some excess energies out of you right away. Then the next is the departing ritual, where you give people their energy back and you collect yours and then sever the connection. The third thing I talked about is how important centering is and describing it. And then the last thing is about drinking water to help replenish your body after getting up first thing in the morning. That's the first thing in the morning. So that's all I have for today. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for spending your valuable time with me. If you found this message helpful, please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up or a 5-star rating, and share it with your friends. To discover more about the 4-step system for attracting a generous income as a healer or an intuitive coach without burning out, sign up for my free training at www.highpaidhealers.com. I look forward to seeing you there and in the next video.